Hello, and welcome to SpeedECoder. Today we are going to take a look at Speedy Search, a keyword term search powered by Speedy Speller. Our first case example is a physician who has been requested to stand by during a high-risk delivery of a newborn. The physician was on standby for 30 minutes. The keywords chosen from the case example are standby, physician, delivery, and high risk. First, we will need to determine what code should be billed for the standby service. We will begin by entering the first keyword, standby, in the field with all the words. As the characters are entered, observe that the Speedy Speller term completion window narrows to match terms that are found in the manual. Pressing Enter on the keyboard or clicking on the search box will bring up the search results. Only one result was found, CPT code 99360. Speedy Search takes us right into the detail page of the code because there were no other codes containing the keyword standby. Note that all the key terms chosen from the example are listed in the description of the code. This is the exact code needed. To return to Speedy Search, there are several options. Clicking on the back button of your browser, the backspace button on the keyboard, or by clicking on the Speedy Search hyperlink on the upper left-hand navigation menu. Each of these options will take us back to the Speedy Search screen. The field with all the words that contains the last keyword search, standby, can be cleared in several ways. The characters can be highlighted and then type over them, clicking at the end of the search term and backspace over the characters, clicking on the X at the end of the search box, or using the keyboard shortcut Control-K. Let's take a look at another case. In this case example, a 6-year-old girl fell on the playground at school. An X-ray has revealed a distal radial fracture. Distal means situated away from the point of attachment. Radial pertains to the radius, a smaller bone of the forearm. A distal radial fracture is a break of the radius near the wrist or lower part of the forearm. The keys chosen from this example for our Speedy Search are fracture, forearm, radius, distal, and lower. In this example, we need to determine the diagnosis code and an external cause of injury code. In the field with all the words, we will begin the search using the broadest term, fracture. Remember from our first example that by clicking on the search button or hitting Enter on the keyboard, we will see the results for our search term. The advanced search result page gives us an error that over 500 records were found. This tells us that we need to narrow the search. By clicking on Speedy Search from the upper left-hand navigation menu, we are taken back to our main Speedy Search screen. The search can be narrowed to just the ICD-9 code sets by removing the check for the coding sets I do not need. We will uncheck HCPCS, CPT, ICD-9 Volume 3, and ICD-10. This time, the term FORER is entered in the field with the exact phrase. Notice how I started to misspell the word forearm? The Speedy Speller term completion window changed from white to pink, indicating that I spelled a word not found in the text of the manual. The pink Speedy Speller window contains a list of helpful term suggestions for us to consider. Once the spelling of the term forearm in the field with the exact phrase is corrected, select the Enter key on the keyboard. There are 9 results returned. It has been assumed that the fracture is closed since open was not documented. Because code 813.40 is lower unspecified, we will click on the description or code number to bring up the detail page and examine the code a little closer to see if it meets our needs. To be sure that the most specific code is chosen, we will go to the hierarchy and click on the 4-digit code 813.4 to bring up that portion of the ICD-9 manual. Here, it can be seen that maybe a more appropriate code would be 813.42, other closed fractures of distal end radius alone. Our search is not completed yet. An external cause of injury code needs to be determined. Going back to look at the case example, some key words that could be chosen are fall, playground, and school. Click on the Speedy Search from the upper navigation menu. Click on the X at the end of the field with all the words, and on the X at the end of the field with the exact phrase to clear the prior keyword. Enter the term playground in the field with all the words and press Enter on the keyboard. 2 search results are found. Our documents do not state that the injury was from equipment on the playground, so the correct code would be E849.4, accidents occurring in place for recreation and sports. I hope this tutorial has